Dr. Sara, thank you for joining our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doctor, as a political analyst and as a researcher, you would have seen, read, and experienced several political uprising and political crises. Where do you rank Sri Lanka? What is your view about our own Aragalaya?
Well, in the South Asian context, our Aragalaya is unprecedented. It's unprecedented because it is, there isn't a single leadership. It is a number of forces that have come together. It has been extremely well conducted. It's been peaceful. It's been non-violent, apart from certain incidents, and there's speculation as to whether that was the Aragalaya or some outside forces who were infiltrating the Aragalaya or whatever. But no, it's been absolutely unprecedented in that respect.
Uh, Doctor, now the important question, now Ranil Wickremesinghe has been appointed, or he sworn in as acting president.
Hmm.
3 months ago, we wouldn't have thought that this would happen. But here he became an acting president. Um, you would have worked with him in the past. You would have had several interaction with him in the past. How do you view that? Have you ever thought of this?
I've never thought of Ranil Wickremesinghe becoming president of this country through the ways that he has become president of this country, by the existing president leaving, making him an acting president, and now again acting president as per the constitution, as far as the uh, resignation of an existing president is concerned. But Mr. Wickremesinghe obviously is, he has experience, he has expertise, he is there for the long haul. And in that respect, it's not entirely surprising that he has come to this position.
Yesterday, I had an interview with Professor Jayadeva Uyangoda. I asked him about the question that in the community, there are some sectors or sizable number of people feel at this present juncture, only Ranil can navigate Sri Lanka from the present crisis, and he can only deliver. And he said, but when he responded to my question, he said there's a big myth about Ranil Wickremesinghe. So from your years of decades of uh, interactions and observation, what is your view about Ranil Wickremesinghe?
Well, the point at the present moment, and this has always been the case, is that Ranil Wickremesinghe is not a popular politician. He doesn't really attract mass support. And in the current situation, he has now got branded with this mark that he has acted to save the Rajpaksas, that he has been a proxy for the Rajpaksas, that he has given them a lifeline when he accepted the premiership way back when. And so, as a consequence, he's not a popular politician at all. And therefore, in the current context, the Aragalaya is determined that Ranil Wickremesinghe should not be the president and should not have been prime minister, should not have been the president. They don't respect him as the person who can take us out of this crisis. But you're right, there is a section of the population in this country who believes that Ranil Wickremesinghe has the experience, the expertise, the international contacts, etc., to navigate ourselves out of this crisis. But you need someone who has both. And you can't have someone who is devoid of the confidence and the trust that people need at this particular moment in Sri Lanka, as far as their government is concerned, to provide political stability and use that political stability as the basis on which we will talk to the IMF and our international creditors.
Doctor, with the Aragalaya, after July 9th and July 13th, there was a big crowd, unprecedented number of people gathered, and they actually eventually won the main struggle, that is ousting President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. They had a celebration yesterday too, but it's not over yet. They demand the resignation of Ranil Wickremesinghe. But for the moment, it seems there is a lull or kind of the enthusiasm is not there among the crowd today. I visited the place, the presidential secretariat, less crowd there. But it is the case for the past, today is the 98th day, but during the course of 3 months, there are days where less number of people there, but when it mattered most, they come and they delivered. But now, with the next 7 days, Ranil Wickremesinghe will be the acting president, and again they are going for a vote to decide the president for the rest of the term. So, do you think the another moment this Aragalaya second stage will escalate? What is when that will happen?
Well, there's every possibility that since the Aragalaya has demanded that Ranil Wickremesinghe should not be prime minister, should not be president, etc., that if Parliament votes to make him the interim president, that the Aragalaya will intensify and that there could be further tension and confrontation in the street. There's every possibility that that could happen.
So, are we in for a protracted political crisis and uprising?
Yes, we could be. We could be in for even some bloodshed as a consequence of what happens. Because if they try to storm Parliament or whatever, and if they come out to demonstrate against Parliament having chosen Ranil Wickremesinghe as the interim president of this country, and if they keep demanding that he goes, then there is a lot of violence and tension on the ground.
Doctor, among the international community, from the outside people, even today I was visited to Kochikade. Even a youngster around 20 in his 20s says, or Ranil with his international contacts, he can deliver. This is what he said when we interviewed several people. The youngster told me from your interactions with international community ambassadors and the in the diplomatic circle, what is actually their present stance with regard to Ranil Wickremesinghe? Um,
I haven't had a recent major interaction with the diplomatic community, but what I can say to you is this is that yes, they recognize that this is a person with experience, that he has expertise, he's been around for a long time, and therefore he is a known quantity. But they also do recognize that Sri Lanka needs political stability and that the major primary requirement of whoever is to lead the country is that the people have trust and confidence in his or her ability to do so. And that is where the questions with regard to Rani Wickremesinghe arise, because the Aragalaya is determined to say that, look, he cannot be the president of this country. He must go home.
And as we are facing an unprecedented economic crisis in the next couple of days, if there are more shipments of fuel and gas comes to the country, then if the present queues goes away, then will the people's support for Aragalaya, this kind of protest, will recede? What do your opinion?
Well, the enthusiasm of certain people who are really concerned about getting fuel, making sure that they have food, that they have medicine, all of that, and who do not necessarily go to Galface and join the protests and all of that, they might sort of say, look, now we need a breathing space. Let this interim government get on with it, and we'll move to elections 2 years from now, or before that, if Parliament decides to ask for its dismissal and dissolution. But yes, the Aragalaya, nevertheless, the enthusiasm, the intensity of the struggle ebbs and flows. What I'm saying to you is that in the event that Ranil Wickremesinghe was to be made interim president, then the Aragale could intensify again.
Uh, Doctor, now with the three possible candidates for the interim president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, Sajith Premadasa, and Dallas Alaperuma, already expressed his willingness to contest. These people, these three politicians, belongs to the old political class. With the Aragalaya protested demanding a new political culture. Uh, if anyone, if not Ranil, Sajito Dalasalavaperma will become a president, will they can satisfy the demands of the protesters? What do you think?
Well, they will have to, insofar as that's the measure of political stability in the country. They may well be able to, but the important thing is that this new government that is going to come into being with a new president, I think they need to decide on abolition of the presidency and going towards fresh elections. In those fresh elections, the Aragale then must decide who amongst themselves are going to either join existing political parties and enter the political fray, or alternatively, create their new political parties and contest elections.
Uh, Dr. Sara, like now, it's lots of people, critics, telling that Ranil Wickremesinghe doesn't have the legitimacy because during the election, his party was defeated and they got less than 30,000 votes. That is one side. But when the president's party, which got more than two-thirds and 6.9 million votes during the presidential election, then subsequently in the general election they got highest number of seats. But their mandate also now became nullified, or they lost legitimacy. So in this case, do we need to think outside the box to come out from this present crisis?
Well, one has to make the decision as to whether we work according to the existing constitution of Sri Lanka to get ourselves out of this situation, or as to whether that existing constitution does not respond to the events that have unfolded. And I think it's important for us to act constitutionally, and therefore we will get an interim president, and that interim president needs to abolish the presidency and go for an early general election. Then we can talk about a new constitution, a new social contract for the country, and get on with the business of government.
Doctor, in the past, civil society always been accused as they are always sided with Ranil Wickremesinghe. But this time, it's different from the opinion what I heard. If there's to be a drastic change in the stance of civil society, if Ranil makes some drastic promises, will it bring the civil society on the side of Ranil Wickremesinghe?
What kind of drastic promises are you talking about?
Like abolishing the executive presidency and bring back the 19th Amendment, that kind of promises?
Well, that could shift the opinion of some. But the question is, once he becomes interim president, what is going to be the situation in the country? What is the law and order situation in the country? Is there going to be a crackdown? And if there is a crackdown, there will be human rights violations and all of those things, quite possibly. So it's the process, as well as then what you're talking about is in terms of new measures. I mean, the answer to your question is I don't really know, but it's possible.
Dr. Sara, thank you very much for your
Thank,
precious time.
thank you. Okay.
Okay.